Hello baseball fans and welcome to BBSN, and today we are going to resume our 1922 St. Louis Browns time machine replay. And in the time machine replay, the Browns have traveled to 1977 to supplant the mediocre Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East, and we'll see if they can make a run at the divisional title this year. So this is the finale of a 4-game set against the visiting Detroit Tigers. And our lineups for today: Ron LaFleur will lead off for the Tigers and play center. Tito Fuentes bats second and will be at second base. Ben Ogilvy will hit third, be in right field. The designated hitter, La Grande Orange, Rusty Staub. Jason Thompson will be the first baseman. Steve Kemp bats sixth, he'll be in left field. And John Walkenfuss gets the start over Milkmaid today at catcher. Aurelio Rodriguez will be in the 8th spot at the hot corner. And Tom Bereiser in one deviation from the as-played lineup, because Mark Wagner is not carded, he will get the start at shortstop. And the Tigers pitcher on this day, Ray Bear, is also not carded in this set. So with that, we get a special appearance from one of my favorite non-Yankees of the 70s, Mark the Bird Fidrich. So we will see how the Bird does against the powerful Browns lineup. For the Browns, who come into this game at 4-2 on the season, Jack Tobin gets the start in right field. He'll bat leadoff. Hitting second, third baseman Frank Ellerby. Hall of Famer George Sisler will bat third and be at first. Left fielder Kenny Williams will bat cleanup. Baby Doll Jacobson will bat fifth and be in center field. Marty McManus bats sixth and he'll be at second base today. And in a little homage to my good buddy Chris at Delaware Strat, Hank Severide will be in the wideout spot, hitting seventh in the order and playing catcher. And Pat Collins got the start in the last game, and I just forgot to put Severide back on the score sheet before I printed it. So that wideout's for you, Chris. And batting eighth will be designated hitter Chick Shorten. And Wally Gerber will be the shortstop, and he will bat ninth. And on the mound today for the Brownies will be Ray Culp. And Culp, the third pitcher in the rotation, had a very respectable 14-4 record with a 3.93 ERA in 1922. And Fidrich, solid record for the games he got in, 11 starts, a 6-4 record, and a 2.89 ERA. But that was the year that he hurt his shoulder. Hurt his knee first, and then coming back from that, hurt his shoulder, and unfortunately marked the pretty much beginning to the end for the Bird from that point forward. So we are ready to go, and the Tigers, who trail this series 2-1, will look to get even today, and Ron LaFleur leads it off. 4-9, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. So Williams puts that away, and 1 down for the Tigers. Tito Fuentes, the second baseman, up. And 3-12, that'll be a ground ball down to first. Sisler's going to take that himself, and Culp off to a solid start. 2 up, 2 down, and Ben Ogilvy the batter. 2-7, and that will be a split chance, and that's going to be a double. So Ogilvy wraps that into left center and easily into second base with a stand-up double. And every time, never fails, I say a pitcher's doing well. The next batter up gets on base. The veteran Rusty Staub, the batter. 2-4, and that'll be a ground ball back to the pitcher. So Culp, the easy toss over to Sisler at first base. And he gets out of the inning with no damage after Ogilvy's double. So the Bird takes the mound and is prepared to face this 1922 Browns lineup, who are staring from the dugout perplexed. Why is this guy talking to the baseball? Y'all sure are weird here in the future. And that's a 3 and a 10. And that'll be a line out to second base. So Tobin goes down. Fuentes puts that one away, one down. Frank Ellerby, the batter, the Browns' third baseman. That was a 2-7, and that's going to be a split chance, and Ellerby with the single. So Ellerby, probably the least potent bat in this lineup, is on. And using the auto steal system, borrowed from payoff pitch, he will not go. George Sisler, the batter. And 2-7, and that's going to be a split chance, and he's going to single. So Ellerby is going to stop at second base. One down, two on, and the Browns getting to the bird, who's talking furiously to the baseball. Seems to be upset with it. Williams steps up. 3-3, and that'll be a ground ball to second base. And up with that is Fuentes, underhand to Verizon over to first, and they turn the 4-6-3 double play. And whatever the bird said seemed to work as he is out of the inning. We go to the top of the second, our score is 0-0. And Jason Thompson is going to lead it off for the Tigers here in the top of the second inning. And Culp, 1 5. And that's going to be a single for Thompson. So Ray Culp now wondering if he should perhaps have a chat with the old Horsehide Sphere as Steve Kemp steps up. 6 and 8, and that is going to be a single. And on that, Thompson not a good runner. He's going to stop at second base. So the Tigers and John Walkenfuss making his first appearance in the series. 6 and 9, and that is going to be another single. And again, nobody out, and Thompson, 50-50 chance to score. He is not going to try. He's going to stay put at third base. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Culp is in early trouble here as Aurelio Rodriguez steps up. 3-7, and that's a split chance, and that'll be a line out to second base. So all runners back safely, and a big out there, recorded by Marty McManus. One down, bases still loaded for Tom. Can you hear me now? Verizon, who is curious why he has that nickname in 77. 3 and a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, and up with that is Gerber. The flip to McManus over to first, and the Brownies get their own double play, 6-4-3 to get out of a no-out bases loaded jam. And Tigers fans are wondering, why was our manager not more aggressive? Because Jason Thompson is not fast. Baby Doll Jacobson is going to lead it off for the Brownies in the bottom of the second inning. So lots of action so far, no runs to show for it. 6 and an 8. And that'll be a line out to third base. Aurelio Rodriguez takes care of that. One down, and Marty McManus steps up. And the pitch to McManus is a 6 and a 5. And that will be a ground ball shortstop X. And Verizon is a 3. 3 and a 9. And that is going to be a ground ball out. So Verizon takes care of McManus. 2 down, and Hank Severide, he's going to be our spotlight Brown of the day. Severide is the only catcher in Major League history at 2 and a 7. And split chance, and he's going to get on with a single. So 2 down, Severide at first. He's the only catcher in Major League history to catch no-hitters on consecutive days. And that was back in 1917 against the Chicago White Sox, who, ironically enough, won the World Series that year. But Severide was on the receiving end of back-to-back no-nos in May of that year against the Sox. and is the only catcher in baseball history to do that. He had a very solid major league career. Played 11 seasons and had a .289 career batting average. Caught 100 games in 6 of those seasons, which was pretty rare for a receiver back in the day when the equipment was not, well, I would say antiquated or rudimentary to say the best. And started in 1911, finished his career in 1926, hit over 306 times, and 5 of those times came after he turned 30. So really a solid catcher for the era. You don't hear a lot about catchers from the dead ball era to early 20s. Probably Roger Bresnahan on the Giants is the one that's talked about the most, but Hank Severide definitely comparable to Bresnahan, who is in the Hall of Fame statistically wise. And not saying Severide belongs, but probably should be recognized as one of the better catchers of that era. And just seems to be overall a footnote in history. But again, he has an honor that no one will ever take away and has not been done since, and that's the consecutive day no-hitters. So back to the game. As Severide gets his lead, checks short and the DH up. And 6 and a 4. That'll be a fly ball to right field. So the second inning is over. And we head to the top of the third. And we are still scoreless here despite both teams threatening. Colt back on the mound. He did a amazing escape back in the second, getting out of a no-out bases loaded jam. 2-3, that's going to be a ground ball down to third. Ellerby takes care of that, and LaFleur is down. Have to hurry that over to get the speedy LaFleur at first base. And Tito Fuentes, Colt the pitch, 4-7, struck him out. So Fuentes heads back to the dugout dejected. And Ben Oglivie, who doubled in the first inning up. 2-8. And that's going to be a pop out, and McManus gathers that in. And 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And we are still looking for our first run of the game. And Wally Gerber is going to lead it off for the Brownies, the 9th place hitter. And that's a 6-6, and fly ball to left field. Steve Kemp gets the ball back in as Jack Tobin, the leadoff hitter, comes up for the Brownies. Fidrich deals 5-10, and that's going to be a fly ball X to center. And out in center, LaFleur is a 3. And LaFleur, he's had some trouble in this series defensively. It looks like he short-armed that. It's over his head, and Tobin heading around first to second base. And the man who hits lots of triples has his first double of the season. 1 down, and Tobin will be at second. And again, the Brownies have a runner in scoring position for Frank Ellerby. And Ellerby looking to get on base again. Singled his first time up, 5-5, and ring him up, Johnny. Fidrich with the K, 2 down. He says your cash is no good here, sir. George Sisler, the batter. And the Hall of Famer will look to make something happen here. And a 5 and a 7. And that's going to be a ground ball second base X. So 9, and Tito Fuentes is a 4. And out with no runners on base, 4. So Sisler grounds out, and the third inning is over, and we are still looking for our first run of the game. And the Browns still do not know what to make of a strange curly-headed guy who talks to baseballs. One of many things they're probably having difficulty adjusting to in 1977. And 3 and a 6 to stop, and that'll be a ground ball to second base. McManus takes care of that. One down. Jason Thompson, the batter. Thompson singled and got to third where he was stranded his first time up. 5 and a 9. And split chance. That's going to be a double. So Thompson rattles a fence, and he is standing at second base, his second hit of the day. Steve Kemp will be the batter. And Kemp, a 5 and a 7, and that'll be a ground ball second X. And again, McManus is a 1 and 1 and a 1 to second base, and that's going to be a ground ball out. Thompson, he's going to motor over to third. So 2 down and runner on third. Second time Thompson has been there, and we will see if Walkenfuss, who singled his first time up, can get him in. 2 down. 5-11. It'll be a ground ball back to pitcher, and Culp is a 4. 4 and a 6. And Culp right between his legs nutmegged him, and that's a single, and our first run of the game is in. So Walkenfuss goes 5-hole on the pitcher, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. Aurelio Rodriguez, the batter. And Aurelio, 2-8. That'll be a ground ball to shortstop. Gerber takes that the short way, 6-4. And the inning is over, but the Tigers break on top, courtesy of a John Walkenfuss single, and lead 1-0 heading into the bottom of the fourth. Fidrich back on the mound, and he will face the dangerous Ken Williams. Williams hit into a inning-ending double play back in the first. 5 and 8 from the Bird, and that's a fly ball to center field. LaFleur puts that away easily. Has had some trouble, but ran that one down nicely. 1 down. David L. Jacobson, the batter. 3 and 12, and struck him out. So Fidrich getting that baseball to do unimaginable things, and Jacobson curses as he heads back to the dugout. Marty McManus, the batter. 1 and 3, and that's a pop out to second base. So Fuentes under that. And the Brownies go down 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. We head to the fifth. Our score is still 1-0 Tigers. And Fidrich seems to have settled in well. Tom Verizor is going to lead this off for the Tigers in the top of the fifth inning. Colt back on the mound, and 5-9. And split chance, and that's going to be a triple. So Verizor rattles around down in the corner, and by the time it's back in, he is safe at third base, and the Tigers have another threat here in the fifth. Nobody out, and Colt continues to get himself into trouble. 4 and 5, and that'll be a ground ball to second base. And runners will advance, so Verizor comes in to score. And LaFleur is out, but he gets the RBI, and the Tigers take a 2-0 lead. Tito Fuentes, the batter. 1 down, nobody on. 1-3, and it's a line out to second base, straight to McManus. 2 down for the Tigers as Ogilvy steps in. Colt gets a sign. The pitch, 6-10. And that's going to be a single. So Colt, anything in that 6 column is bad news for him. And Ogilvy is a 4 on the auto steal attempt. And he is going. So Severide, a good arm. He'll be a -3. And Ogilvy is a C, stealing. So it's going to be a roll of 1 to 8. And guns him down. Can't get in just in time. So Ogilvy caught stealing at second base, and the inning is over, but the Tigers tack on another. And we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Our score 2-0 Detroit. And our aforementioned spotlight player of the game, the only man in Major League history to catch no-hitters on back-to-back days, Hank Severide up. Fidrich the pitch, 6-10, and that'll be a fly ball to center field. Easy take for LaFleur, one down. Chick short and the designated hitter up. Pitch from Fidrich, 4-4, and that's going to be a catcher's card X. So Walkenfuss is a 4 and a 20, and that'll be a foul out. So Walkenfuss able to run that down, tosses the mask, gets under it, puts it away, 2 outs. And shortstop Wally Gerber the batter. Fidrich deals 3-11. And that's a split chance, and that'll be a single for Gerber. And that breaks a string of 8 straight set down by the Bird. Gerber on at second base. He will try and run on a 3. Will not, and we're back to the top of the order. 2 down for Jack Tobin. Fidrich fiddles with the mound, is ready, pitches, 3 and an 8. And it'll be ground ball down to third. Aurelio Rodriguez over to first base. Thompson has it, and the Browns are down in the 5th. So the Bird doing something that really no Detroit pitcher has done successfully in that series, and that is clamping down on this offensive juggernaut from 1922. As we head to the top of the 6th inning with the Tigers clinging to a 2-0 lead. Rusty Staub leads it off, 4 and a 4, and that's catcher's card X. And that is a 7, and Severide is a 2. So 7-2, that's a dribbler in front of the plate. Severide pounces on that, whips it to Sisler, and we have 1 down. Staub, not the fleetest going down the baseline, is taken care of. Jason Thompson, he's 2 for 2, single double, and has scored a run today. 1-7, and split chance, that's going to be a single, so Thompson making an early push for player of the game here is on with his 3rd straight hit of the evening. And Ray Polk will prepare to face Steve Kemp. The pitch, 4 and a 9. And fly ball to left field. Williams puts that away. Thompson back to first base, 2 outs. And John Walkenfuss, the batter. The walk, 4-6. And that'll be a ground ball shortstop X. And for Gerber, a 2 and a 20. And up with it, nice play, pivots, and he's got Walkenfuss at first, 6-3. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Detroit still leads it, 2-0. Fidrich, no signs of letting up here. In fact, seems to be getting stronger as the game progresses. Gets in his pre-inning pep talk with Mr. Baseball. And pitch is a 6 and 11. That's going to be a ground ball back to Fidrich. He picks it up over to Thompson, 1 down. And we head into the heart of the dangerous St. Louis Browns order. Sisler, he singled and grounded out to second today. 5 and a 7. And that'll be a ground ball second base X. And Fuentes a 4-18. And that'll be a ground ball out. Fuentes diving, whips it over, and we have 2 down. Ken Williams, the batter. Fidrich, the pitch, 4-9, and that's going to be a split chance, line out. And Thompson, a diving play, robs Ken Williams, and the inning is over, L3. And we're heading to the 7th inning, folks, and Fidrich has the clamps on the St. Louis Browns. Tigers lead at 2-0. And Aurelio Rodriguez will lead things off for the Motowners. Culp still on the mound for the Brownies, 4-5. And ground ball down to second base. McManus takes care of that easily. One down. Tom Verlizer, the batter. 5-7. And that's a ground ball, second base X. And that's a 13. McManus a 1. And that'll be a ground ball out. So 2 quick chances for McManus and 2 quick outs for the Tigers. Back to the top of the order, the speedy Ron LaFleur's up. Culp the pitch, 3-3. And that'll be a ground ball. And again, to McManus, who says, you guys can sit down. I'll just take care of this inning myself. And he does. 7th inning stretch time. And since we've had a wideout shout out to Chris from Delaware Strat, why not a 7th inning stretch shout out? This is also for you, Chris. At the old ball game. All right, baby doll. Leads it off in the 7th. Fidrich looking to get a complete game win. 2 and a 9 and struck him out. So Jacobson rung up. It's the 2nd time in a row he's gone down swinging at the man who talks to baseballs. Marty McManus, who recorded all 3 outs last inning. Wild pitch there, 2-5. And McManus, he's able to draw a base on balls. So the Browns with a base runner, and McManus will try and steal on a roll of 4 or less. Not happening. Hank Severide, our spotlight player of the game, up. 2 and a 5, and that's going to be a single 2. So over to third base, easily goes McManus. And the Bird getting in a little bit of trouble here. And that's going to get John Hiller up and throwing in the Detroit bullpen. And again, he must warm up for 2 batters. 6 and a 9. And that'll be a ground ball to second base. So up with that, a nice play by Fuentes over to first. But the runners will advance. So Severide goes to second base, and in to score with the Browns' first run is McManus, the RBI ground out for Chick Shorten. And that cuts the lead in half, 2-1 Tigers. Wally Gerber, the batter, runner on second base, 6-6. And it'll be a fly ball to left field. Under that is Kemp. So the inning is over, but the Browns break up the shutout. And we're heading to the top of the 8th. Our score 2-1. Nice little duel here going between Ray Culp and the Bird. It's Tito Fuentes. Leads it off for the Tigers here on the top of the 8th. Fuentes today is 0 for 3. He is grounded out, struck out, and lined out to second base on a nice play by McManus his last time up, 6-6. And just avoids the trouble there, and that's going to be a fly ball to Tobin in right. His first chance of the game, 1 down. Ogley the batter, 6-6, and another fly ball to right. So Tobin hasn't had any action out there, 2 outs in a row. And Rusty Staub, the big orange one, up. And 6-10, and the luck's going to run out in that column for Kolb as Staub singles. And Staub, there's Slow, and then there's Staub. He's kind of frozen as a base runner. He will not try and run. Jason Thompson. They've not been able to get him out today. Can keep the streak going, 2 and 8. And no, ground ball down to third base, and Ellerby's going to whip that over to Sisler. And we are through 7 and a half, heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. Our score still 2-1. And the Bird comes back out. And he'll just have to get through the tough part of that St. Louis order one more time. 5 and a 7, and that'll be a ground ball second base X. And again, Fuentes is a 4 and an 8. And that's going to be a one base error, so Fuentes boots that. And nothing good happens when you make an error. Tobin at first base, and we're going to see if he's going to try and steal. Actually, no, we're going to play some small ball here. So Ellerby is going to go for the sacrifice. And 9, batter is safe, leading runner thrown out by the catcher, other runners advance 1. So 2-4, and fielder's choice for Ellerby. That did not go as planned. And 1 down, runner on first. Ellerby will not try and steal, and we're not going to ask Sisler to bunt. The pitch from the Bird. 2-5, and fly ball to right field, and under that is Ogilvy. So 2 down, and Ken Williams comes to the plate. Here comes a pitch. And 2 and a 7. And that's a split chance, and 7. Split chance, that's going to be a triple. So Ken Williams, the Browns love to hit triples, and he has tied this game up, an unearned run, as Ellerby comes around to score. And that does not have Fidrich happy, and the Browns, they're on a record pace for triples thus far, have tied this game up. And they're going to try and let Fidrich get out of this inning to facing Baby Doll Jacobson. 3 and a 5. And line out to third base. Rodriguez snags that, a hard hit shot. But the Brownies have tied it up after 8. It's 2-2. And heading to the top of the 9th inning, Culp is going to stay on the mound. And Steve Kemp is going to lead things off for Detroit here. 5 and an 8. And pops him up. Sisler puts that away. F3. 1 down. And could we be headed for extra innings here? Walkenfuss the batter. 4-7. And struck him out. So Walkenfuss gets shackled by Culp, and we have 2 outs for Aurelio Rodriguez. 3 and a 5, and that is going to be a split chance, but he cannot connect. It hits off the top of the wall, and Rodriguez is into second with a double. Just missed putting the Tigers back in front on that swing. And Tom Verizon will be the batter. 2-4, and ground ball down to third. Ellerby has that. And the Tigers are done in the top of the 9th inning. Cannot score, leaving a runner on second base. And Fidrich is coming out to start the 9th. He will have a very short leash, as Marty McManus leads things off for the Browns as they look to take this in walk-off fashion. An exciting game. This series has been one of blowouts, but this one coming down to the wire. 1 and an 8, ground ball down to third. Rodriguez up with it, over to first base. 1 down for Severide. And can our spotlight player of the day be the hero? Let's see, 2 and a 9. And that is a start. So Severide singles. And that is going to be it for Fidrich. Many people may want to see the Bird go and get the complete game, but playing the odds here, we're going to bring in John Hiller. And the runner on first, Severide, is Fidrich's responsibility. We will see if he's going to try and steal. Needs to be a 2. He's not. Chick Shorten, who knocked in a run his last time up. And Hiller, 6 and a 9. And that'll be a ground. Oops, 6 and a 9 is a strikeout. Almost missed that. Swing and a miss for short and 2 down. So that pitching change looking genius after one batter. Let's see what Wally Gerber does to that as we are facing extras here. 5-6 and struck him out. So Hiller comes in and they cannot touch him. And we're heading to extras, folks. Our score after 9 is 2-2. So Ron LaFleur, Culp still on the mound for the Brownies. And just in case, in the bullpen, Rasty Wright is up and throwing, but they're going to probably leave this on Culp's shoulders. LaFleur the batter. 6-7, and that's going to be a split chance. Line out to second base. McManus with a fine play on that, 1 down. Tito Fuentes the batter. 1-7, and struck him out. So Culp showing no signs of cracking as we head to extras. 3 and a 9, and that is going to be a strikeout. Ogilvy goes down swinging. So Culp, big top of the 10th, and Hiller back out. And he'll have to face the top of the order as Jack Tobin steps in. Hiller struck out the last 2 batters of the 9th. 2 and a 7, and that's going to be a walk. So Tobin with the base on balls, and he is not the prototypical leadoff guy, not very speedy. He needed a 3 to steal. Ellerby, and he's going to try and bunt again. And 6, and it is going to be a batter is thrown out by third baseman, runner advance. So 5-3 sack hit, and we have the winning run on second base. And who do you want up in this situation? I would take a Hall of Famer who hit .420 this season. 1 and a 7, and single 2, and the ball game is over. Sisler back up the middle, motoring around to score is Tobin. And this one is over. The Brownies rally from a 2-0 deficit. Fidrich had them on lockdown until the 7th inning. They tied in the 8th, and in extras, Sisler comes through with a walk-off single, and this game is over. The Browns take 3 of 4 from the Tigers, and they move to 5-2 on the 1977 season now. 3-2 again is your final. The winner, Ray Culp. Your loser is John Hiller. Thank you, and until next time, let's roll.